Hi, I'm here with Branimir Angelov, and my name's Adrian Wright. Branimir is Enterprise Architect at Estafet, and I'm the CEO and founder. We're going to talk now a little bit about the difference in team structure and team makeup for particularly delivering, let's say, a POC to begin with, in terms of the roles and the interaction we have with the customer in terms of the product owner. Branny, I'm going to set up a POC as a project manager or an architect or a program manager. I've run lots of POCs before using sort of more traditional technology, and I understand the team and the team structure there. How would the team structure and the roles differ once you introduce AI into a project?
Yeah, that's quite different actually from what you would traditionally see. And there are actually two main aspects here. So the first aspect is that the POC, when you introduce an AI, usually is something that you want to have a very clean and very understandable business value that you want to actually benchmark and measure with this POC, and eventually integrate this into your production systems. So from that perspective, actually the role of the product manager here is extremely important. But then the scope of the POC, because you have AI in it, very often when it comes to technology, actually it's quite diverse. Mm-hmm. And from that perspective, and also from the fact that usually you want to align this POC with your IT governance model, but on the other hand, you want to separate it from your traditional software or delivery lifecycle in order to make it quick and fast and basically jump directly into the problem domain. Then you essentially need to set up like a small team that can be complete in terms of software lifecycle delivery. Mm-hmm. So from that perspective, this is quite different. And the other perspective here is that when it comes to technology, actually the POC, it can leverage a lot when it comes to like AI. You have this managed MLOps kind of capability that you need to bring in. And this is something that requires also a lot of understanding in terms of cloud management. So your team actually, it will become like you can think of it as a small squad team that have from different departments in your organization, like senior people who just work together in a very effective way.
Understands. So the structure of that team, you'd have a product owner. You would have then a group of specialists within that team. Can you just go through each of those roles that you'd have?
Yeah, so typically what you would have is somebody who is kind of understanding the systematic evaluation of AI or machine learning type of features, which requires some knowledge on, let's say, data science in terms of benchmarking, scoring, and selecting the correct benchmarks based on their understanding of a specific.
So would that be a data scientist, or is that a data scientist developer role?
Yeah, so I would say that when it comes to POC, basically selecting people that can wear two hats is always beneficial. Mm-hmm. So I would say that here it's not like a typical data scientist, because in the scope of the POC, you'll be rarely crunching big amounts of data. Unless you have a very specific or unique business domain. But in the majority of the cases, you won't be having like a deep data crunching or data science problems. It will be more like, let's say, on an architectural layer, like really benchmarking a machine learning pipeline, understanding how the different scoring works, yes. Things like this.
Yes. Development language, we use something like Python. So is that always in there, or is it just dependent?
It's I would say that when it comes to language here, Python, it really becomes the universal language on that layer. It's well integrated in both the open source tools, but also it's widely used in the tools that are provided by the public cloud providers or in the specialized platform and service providers.
Okay. So we've got senior people, good product owner with autonomy for the business. They can make decisions quickly. You've then got data scientists, maybe Python developers or certainly developer in that field. You've mentioned MLOps as well. How about testing?
Well, testing is very important here because ideally, and here I would emphasize both on the role of the DevOps or the MLOps engineer that is really going to focus on actually how you bring most efficiently the pre-trained models within your IT governance model in the sandbox that you have selected, or how you configure in the correct way the public cloud platform as a service features that you would like to utilize. So here the ops person is extremely important, and it's something that I would say is quite unique when it comes to a POC if we compare this to traditional POCs. And the tester here, again, it has a vital role here because it's very important to have a very good automated testing that is going to feed the required information to the data scientist and back to the product owner. So I would say that these two roles are quite unique, and very often when we talk about the POCs in the traditional terms, what we are thinking about is really a specialized team in a specific technology that is really focused on the actual POC. It's a UI feature or some sort of a backend feature. You usually have this specialized team. And when we have the AI POC, it's much more well-rounded cross-functional team that you need.
And testing frameworks, are they the same? New ones? How do you...
Yes, so when it comes to Gen AI, there are a lot of new frameworks that have to be taken into account. Frameworks that are trying to measure the quality of the response, to measure the degree of hallucination that you see in the LLM responses, to fix the structure of the response that you have. So when it comes to Gen AI and testing of Gen AI, there are plethora of new tools that needs to be used. But on the MLOps and the ops side of things, the tooling is, let's say, more aligned with what the traditional operations and engineer is used to. But on the testing side, yes, there are several new tools, especially if your POC is focused on Gen AI.
Yeah. And the team itself, it's going to be quite experienced. It's got to have seniors on board, mainly because otherwise it's just too slow. In that if you're running a POC, you want it quite short, and you want that team to be up and running very, very quickly so that you can get to prove the business case. You don't want to be spending a huge amount of time and money proving the business case, because you're going to need that budget for actually productionizing and getting on with adding value to the workflow. Is that when you see a team, it's probably quite an elite team in your mind, is it?
Yes, exactly. And here it's what you touched about the budget, and here is something that I think is quite important. Like ideally you want to have a fixed scope and fixed let's say budget for that, in order to be able to create a clean business case and see the road to production. And within that fixed let's say time frame and budget, here you really depend on the seniority of the team. Like for example, your ops engineer, how well it can actually utilize and configure the managed MLOps capabilities of the platform as a service that is within your IT governance model, like a public cloud provider, for example. On the other hand, you have the senior developer that can balance, and when a custom development or a custom POC code is needed to be written, it can use assisted AI coding tools to basically do this faster within very low time frame.
Yes. And the last role, which we must talk about, is your role, which is the architect and the enterprise architect. Is there any difference in the architecture of traditional, let's say, workflow, Boolean logic systems versus something with AI? Say, is there a different approach there, or is it the same? What's your?
So I would say that on enterprise architecture scale, it's the technical aspects of the architecture are relatively the same, because these are like well-known problem areas. But what is a bit more challenging is more the business capability aspect of the enterprise architecture, because what we very often see is that there are capabilities which are absent in the organization. So here it's very important to understand what should be the strategy here on an enterprise architecture level of how you bring this POC further and how you tackle the gaps in the capabilities required for the business to really leverage AI. And here this could be capabilities in the organization, this could be skill related capabilities, and you have to basically think about whether you want to grow those internally or rely on a partner for that.
Great. So we've got a team, it's expert and senior, it's got some architecture, we've got data scientists, development, maybe with Python, we've got the MLOps, and we've got the testers with some specific frameworks. That team needs to be experienced. If you see a team coming in that is junior or hasn't done this before, I think you might want to extend the length of that POC and bring in probably some experience, because obviously if you're proving a business case and you get that wrong, then when you could be spending a lot of money on the back of that trying to implement something that just won't work. So it's a real critical phase of the project and real critical team. Thanks very much, Brandy, that's great.